welcome to the first ever film from this channel, which we're calling Songs from the Witch's House. My name is Storm, and in the room with me, but refusing to be on camera, is David. And David and I have been friends for a very, very long time, and we write songs together. I met David the year that I left school, so you can imagine how many years ago that was. We're based in Wiltshire, which, for those of you who are not familiar with the geography of England, is quite a large county in the south of England. And we're about 65 miles from London as the crow flies. There's not a huge amount that happens in Wiltshire. There's a lot of farmland, countryside, rolling hills. But I think that Wiltshire is a very magical county. It's had its fair share of mystery over the years. Lots of UFO sightings in the 1970s. We have lots of crop circles from the 1990s onwards. Lots of people think that they are man-made, but I think there might be more to them. And we've also got two of the world's most impressive stone circles in the shape of Stonehenge and Avebury. So I think that Wiltshire is a very mystical and mysterious county, and I'd like to think that some of that kind of vibe has found its way into our music, well, certainly some of the songs that I've written. So the plan is that we are hoping to give to you a song on the full moon each month. We thought if we released our songs on the full moon, that would give it a bit of a witchy dynamic, and you would remember basically when you see the full moon, oh, there might be a new song from the Songs from the Witch's House. If we get more adept at making these films, then the plan is that we might step it up to 2 or more a month, perhaps release one on the new moon. So I thought it might be interesting if I did a little bit to camera to tell you about the song that you're going to hear, what inspired it, how we wrote it, anything that's relevant. And I thought to make it a bit more interesting, I would stand somewhere in my house where I could give it a kind of lead in to the song. And then you're going to see a homemade video, a video that we tried to make to accompany our song. Obviously, we're not professional filmmakers, we're not professional anything. We've just gone out with our iPhone and tried to do the best that we can. So that's the basic plan. And if by any chance you should like our music and you'd want to purchase it, then you will be able to, and we'll obviously give you details at the bottom of the screen. We'd also love to hear from anybody who likes our music, so feel free to send us some comments, and we're going to see how it goes, and obviously we might open up further channels of communication if it takes off. We might not get anybody watching or viewing, but who knows. So that's the basic plan. And the reason why I thought I'd show people around my house is because, I think the clock is going to strike, but it's only past, so it shouldn't be too much of an intrusion. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a big fan of car boot sales, charity shops, auctions, all those sorts of things. And I'm a real fan of recycling, upcycling, making do and mending. And my house is an eclectic mix of all sorts of strange ephemera, which has actually been quite useful in making these films. And also my taste is very, very gothic. So people who come to my house, they either love it or hate it. My mum thought I had too many dust collectors, but you know. So I thought it might be quite interesting if I could find some lead in to the song. So you're probably thinking, why is she stood next to this grandfather clock? And if I tilt the camera, you might just be able to see the clock that I'm stood by. Don't worry if you can't see it all, because it does feature in the film that we've tried to make. So this, oh dear, look at the dust. I could have dusted it before. Oh dear, I'm keeping a dirty house, as my friend would say. So basically, this is a clock that I inherited from my stepfather, Jim, who sadly passed away in 2014. And Jim and I used to go to a lot of auctions together. He introduced me to the thrill of going to an auction, and he was always buying all sorts of things. And he always bought quite good quality items and things that had real history. And when he passed away, I couldn't keep everything because he had so many things. I've only got a small house, but I tried to accommodate a few things. And I've actually got a couple of grandfather clocks that belong to him. So I'm stood by this clock because the song that you're going to hear is called No More Time. And it was a song that David and I wrote around about 2015, 2016. And to be honest, it was one of the fastest songs that we ever wrote, because I went round to see him. He played me a piece of music that he had, which was quite repetitive piece of guitar music. And I really liked it. And I said to him, I think I've got some lyrics that will fit. And I'd written this poem called No More Time. Well, turned it into a set of lyrics. Lyrics are more difficult than poems, as I'm sure anybody who does songwriting will appreciate. And I'll be honest with you, I have lifted a line, but I'm not plagiarising because I'm giving credit to the original author, or I would do if I could remember his name. But you remember in the film 4 Weddings and a Funeral, there was that famous poem called Funeral Blues, and the first line goes, "Stop all the clocks." And I kind of quite liked that line, so I lifted that line and I wrote my own poem. Stop all the clocks, no more tick-tocks, broken continuum, so freeze the pendulum and mute the chime, there's no more time. Dying epoch, I can't remember how the rest of it goes, but you'll hear it in the song basically. So what's the song about? This is quite hard to explain. I'll be honest with you, I tend to only write sad songs. It's what I find easier to write. So my songs are quite sad. But if you don't like sad songs, stick with us, because David writes all sorts of songs. And in time, you're going to hear some of his as well. But this song's quite sad. And I suppose if I had to explain what it's about precious moments, and how precious moments have a certain timelessness. So it might be that you're grieving the loss of somebody, and I'm grieving the loss of several people in my family. And I think grief and loss and pain have inspired quite a few of the songs that I've written. Don't want to put you off staying with this channel, but just being honest. But I think that when you think back to a moment that you've shared with somebody, when you have that memory inside your head, it's as if you can connect with that person all over again, and there is a kind of timelessness. And that's what I'm trying to say in this song. The other thing that really fascinates me, and I suppose was a backdrop to this song, is I'm quite fascinated by people who've had near-death experiences. I read my first book about those when I was still at school, and I know that since then there's been a lot of research in that area. And what I find fascinating is the commonality of all these hundreds of thousands of people who've now had these experiences. They all say the same thing. And one of the attributes of these experiences is that they feel that they've gone to another realm, and in that realm they feel there is no time. There is a timelessness. And here in this realm, we have a past, a present and a future. And everything is quite linear. And I suppose in this realm, we have to learn the pain of separation, because we may lose people and they are then in our past. But people who've had these experiences, who feel that they've touched that world beyond, they say that everything seems to happen at once, and we cannot even begin to understand it here because we don't have the tools to understand it. But one thing I feel very confident of is when you think of somebody who maybe you've lost, wherever they are, I think your thoughts can touch them. And that's kind of what this song is about. So I really hope that you like it. We've had a go at making a video. It's our first one. If you look very carefully, you'll actually see some pictures of both my mum and my stepfather, because we try to obviously reflect the lyrics in the way that we made the video. So I really hope that you like it. Let me know what you think. We will then in December be sharing with you another song, and if you do like it, feel free to purchase it, because we would be really, really touched if you did. Thank you for listening. Take care. And until we meet again, some witchy magic coming your way. No more TikToks, broken power